So that's something I want to really hone in on with where we get this wrong in this country, is that too often, and it's the way we're conditioned to think, there'll be certain salespeople that go out there with a test certificate, could be from the CSRO or from a different data laboratory, and a certificate like this, and it's got all the 4858 tests that were conducted and the results, and they go, oh, it's a compliant product. And then what happens is that it doesn't actually stop failures from happening. And as you heard from Russell, the system is appraised, but that's only a snapshot in time. And so what my experience with these guys, they come through, that'll be your quality control procedures.
Yes.
We go into detail like the raw materials coming in,
Yep.
how a manufacturer like ourselves controls and tracks that. Do we test that as well coming through? How we track the traceability of the finished products.
Yes.
How our batching system works, how our retain systems work, virtually the processes our laboratories have got. This is where I've been pushing our country and our market to look at an independent. I'm not here to sell brands. I'm here to sell. I'm hoping to promote, I should say, an independent body that's going to get this industry right, because the noise we've got in the eastern seaboard markets, particularly at the moment, some horror stories of things that have gone wrong that I don't see as much over in New Zealand, and I've certainly seen it scaled down, particularly in big cities like Auckland.
We certainly seen it in the past.
Yep.
With leaky buildings, and some of the horror stories you're telling me about today are not dissimilar to the stories we've heard going back to the beginning of the 2000s.
But you've seen that reduce over time? Yeah. And so I think it's like anything, ISO systems, even when you look at safety in this country now, we've put so much thought and process into what you see in a building site now. Incidents have been reduced than what they used to. If I nail it to where the waterproofing piece lies, whether it's a domestic home or a commercial building, and it's not always about just the waterproof membrane, like you said before, it's the external design, so things like windows and parapets and eaves, etc., how they're all constructed, that's a key piece to it. But we just have this massive loopholes that people can just get through. There are some manufacturers or claimed manufacturers out there that are selling stuff that they'll go with a certificate and say, okay, we've got the test report, here it is, it's appraised. It's not appraised, it's just a test certificate. Yep. And then everyone wants to believe that. And when this product costs $60 a pail versus a decent manufacturer knows what a pail costs in terms of make it, we're not on a competitive or level playing field. In New Zealand, what I like about, when I go on that website, see the appraised membrane, is that all the manufacturers and suppliers have to have passed this procedure and this process. Then I know that you guys fly around the world. If there's suppliers over there that actually got imported materials, you're still going over to those factories to appraise those systems still?
Yes.
Yeah. And so to me that gives me a bit of a warm fuzzy feeling that, okay, I'm not going up against some backyarder that is out there selling some crap. And unfortunately I've got to put it just as simple terms as that, because that's exactly what we've got here. And we're at a fork in the road at the moment in Australia, because it's the tip of a very ugly iceberg that's being uncovered. And I'm seeing everything that resonates from what I saw in New Zealand back in 2000, 2001, when that whole leaking home syndrome was failing. You can look online, you'll see some of the ugly stories in the Eastern Seaboard, $1 million or multi-million-dollar apartments that are failing. People going to all extremes to overcome that, and we've got insurers that now saying, is it my issue? Builders that might be questioning if it's their issue. Contractors that might not be around anymore. And I like what's happened in New Zealand, because you've actually eliminated a lot of that noise and a lot of that problem. And there's a system in place that, at least, it might not be perfect, but it's a template to start with. And I know you guys have done a lot of things over in New Zealand now to keep improving that.
Yes.
Where we are 10 years behind. And I've put my opinions forward in the past. For a country like Australia, we want to beat our chest and say that we are, world leaders in many things. I've got to tell you, in the way waterproofing is done in construction, we're way behind, and we need to do a reality check on that. And I've got a lot of my contemporaries out there that will agree. Some may not, but the fact is that if we're all on a level playing field, this is not about making things more costly. These actually save money in the long run, because what you end up doing is, the average punter that's investing in an apartment or a home can be rest assured that that piece of it has been taken care of, and you guys have got levels of government involved.
Yeah.
How did that evolve, Russell? Because I know, on one of my vlogs, I had Barry Turner from the Australian Institute of Waterproofing that was on there, and we spoke about that. and he raised a couple of concerns and where it needs to go from there. But we've still got that piece missing, I think, where there's some responsibility taken out of the market and more from an overall governance.
Yeah.
Where did BRANZ get involved in that, or was that the other way around, where government sort of pushed BRANZ up into the equation?
BRANZ was in the market doing its research, and we did our first appraisal, I think number one was about 1971. So we've always been in that market. I don't think the government necessarily pushed BRANZ because we're an independent, we're not a government-based organisation. We are independent. But I think the market pushed. The government was embarrassed by leaky homes. They had to step in and put in some procedures in place to ensure to try and stop it happening. As we discussed earlier, most people's single biggest investment in their life is their house, and these people's investment was worth next to nothing because of the leaky problems. So the government was embarrassed by that, so then they had to come up with some rules. And once they came up with some of the rules, it became apparent that there were some parts that needed someone independent who actually had the knowledge to perform the assurance services or the appraisal side of their business, which was BRANZ. There are other ones do the similar sort of thing in New Zealand, but we are the biggest and been around the longest. So it wasn't so much the government pushed us, it just the government created the situation where they needed to step in, and then the territorial authorities said, well, okay, that's fine. How do we know that what this person is presenting as a system is any good? Because it's not actually covered within the governmental documents. So that's when BRANZ stepped in. Yes, we then checked, created the criteria, put the product and the system through the criteria, and at the other end of it came out with the fact that this is an appraised product. The fact that BRANZ was well known within the construction building industry in New Zealand anyway meant, okay, this is an organisation that does know what they're talking about. They've said it's okay. They've put that in writing as in the appraisal, therefore we can accept it.